That's all. So this is Southwold. Straight away I had a bit of an issue because you have to have an app nowadays. You can't just ring up and pay for your parking anymore. You've got to have an app. So if you're like me and you haven't got a smartphone, well, in the end I went and paid for it down the bottom. It's not the end of the world, but just again it just shows that the apps are coming and you have to have a smartphone and all that. Yeah, there's Southwold anyway. As you can see, really busy today. Car park's absolutely rammed. Which is up here. And I think that's probably one of the best beaches I've seen in the UK, to be fair. First impressions. Quite a small beach, but in comparison to Southend yesterday, yeah, it's nice. Nice clean water as well. So, just come across this quote from Animal Farm here. Was it Charles Beach said recently? Some people are welcome, some more welcome than others. You know, the gay pride stuff. A good one from 1984 there. He who controls the past controls the future. He who controls the present controls the past. Quite unusual to come across something like this at like a beach resort, but I wouldn't really expect anything less from Suffolk. Very switched on people. Good writing is like a window pane. Big Brother's watching you. Nothing exists except through human consciousness. And that's the intro to 1984, that bit. It was a bright cold day in April and the clocks were striking 13. There we are. So George Orwell spent time in Southwold as a teenager. In his 30s next door to the fish and chip shop on the high street. Awesome.
Down there, oh, I've been hit on the head by a banana. Oh, I don't like bananas. You like bananas, boys and girls? Oh, my head, I've got a hat down here. Here's Mummy's hat. Now, I hide up the corner. Tell me when he comes up. Is he there?
We're all welcome. Some more than others. Even in a posh place like Southwold, you've got the bank shutting down as well. Lloyd's Bank. Obviously that's a cash machine gone there. Yeah, this is the town centre. And when I was down at that mural just recently, I noticed it said George Orwell's house was by the chip shop, which is it's getting quite late now, so this is why the town looks so deserted. But yeah, that was where the great George Orwell lived, and you can guarantee the Liberals will want to get that plaque down and kind of get rid of any history that George Orwell ever existed. Obviously everything he said is coming true in it, so. It's to do with the power station that's being built down the road, down towards Dunwich. You're right, all. So today I went up to Suffolk, up the northern end of the Suffolk coastline to Southwold. Lower Stofter is the next town along, and that's the kind of the end of the Suffolk coastline. Yesterday, obviously, Southend down the far end of the Essex coastline towards London, well, it's actually the River Thames, and it's so thinking about that sort of parallel, symmetrical sort of image we know of them being so far apart. There's also like a parallel with that when you think what I saw yesterday down in Southend with the amount of diversity we've got down there, and the all the Africans doing that fucking ritual thing they're doing, baptism. None of that was going on in Southwold. Southwold's also a smaller town. Southend's a bigger city, so it's almost like, worlds apart. I've enjoyed both places, though, Southend and Southwold. We're just very different. It was a good day. The two things that really made it for me was Punch and Judy, and of course the great George Orwell. The George Orwell mural that came across at the Southwold Pier. Apparently that's been there since 2014, but I didn't see it last time. While I'm at it, so there's an interesting thing with 1984. If you look on the Inkzog, I'll put a picture of it at the end. The Inkzog picture where there's them handshaking. You notice one hand's a black hand and the other hand's a white hand. I'm not being racist here, but George Orwell knew when he wrote that book in 1948, when the Windrush generation came here, what the plan was. The plan was to destroy British national identity and Western identity. And there was actually a quote in the book about, the easiest way to destroy a people is to deny them their own understanding of their history. So basically, we've had most of our history altered and tailored to suit the demographics coming here, and it's driving people to despair, really, wanting to leave the country. It's getting that bad. But yeah, obviously, George Orwell was a fantastic mind. I think you could probably say, judging by his work, he was an extremely nice person. I mean, I didn't know the guy, I'm just kind of guessing, really, but I would imagine he was definitely on the side of the human race and wanting the best for people. Apparently Aldous Huxley, who did Brave New World, was more sort of in favour of what the elites were planning after World War II, to create this degenerate, hedonistic Brave New World. I mean, when I drove back to Essex, you can see all the flashing lights and discos of the bigger towns and cities are on the go, with it being a bank holiday. Something I thought of this morning, it's quite funny to think that the people who are out rolling around in the gutter tonight, snogging strangers and, probably going home for a one-night stand, you give them a month or two, when the media is building up a campaign, there'll be the same people jumping into driveways to avoid walking past people and, putting nappies on the face to go shopping again because they were told to. It's just crazy, innit? But again, just shows how worlds apart areas of Suffolk and Essex are. Yeah, I think that's about it. Southwold, cracking little town, lovely beach, nice sea, no pollution I could see. There is a power station just down the road at Dunwich, but as far as I'm aware, it's clean water. Yeah, town was nice. It was a nice place. Got a middle class. So again, the opposite to Southend, which is working class. Yeah, to be honest with you, I prefer the working class vibe to the middle class vibe. I think more grounded, realistic people in the working class. Yeah, I think that's about it. Cheers.